Why not?
What's up, everyone? I'm Coach D. So am I the only person who finds it absolutely hilarious that MAGAs are running around like they're getting a new ballroom? They're like, yeah, take that, libs. Donald Trump's putting in a new ballroom. Motherfucker, you're never going to see it. You're not going to the new ballroom just like you've never been to Mar-a-Lago. It's a club that you're not a part of. And I like how when it was first talked about, Donald Trump said the new ballroom is not going to disrupt the White House at all. It's not going to touch the White House. It's going to be its own extension to the White House. And all the MAGAs were like, yeah, you see that, lib? He's not even going to touch the White House like Obama did. He's just going to put in a new one. And then he starts bulldozing the east wing of the White House. And they're like, well, that's what he had to do. He had to do that because he get put in a brand new, big, beautiful ballroom. They're talking about it like they're getting one. And they even bring up the fact that, you know, if they try to host foreign dignitaries right now, they have to put up tents. That's embarrassing. Embarrassing to who? You don't own the White House. I know. And here's the thing. A lot of you guys have been asking me what I think about this. It's our White House. He shouldn't get to do that. I'm going to be real with you guys, and this might piss some of you guys off. I don't give a fuck about the White House. I don't care about the East Wing. I don't care what they do to it. I've never felt like the White House belonged to me. I'm a black man living in a small town in California. You think I've ever had any emotional connection to the White House? I don't. I don't care what that dude does to the White House. What I do care about is the scam that he's pulling off on the American people. That I do care about, because there are things that, and I was talking to a friend of mine about this. Donald Trump will give you little nuggets of honesty by mistake. He'll do that, and then he'll kind of realize it as he's doing it, and he'll pull back real quick. And I think that's the whole thing behind this whole weave that he says he does. I think what happens is he hears things in meetings or people tell him things and he's an idiot. So they probably tell him, hey, don't say this, but here's something. Remember the whole thing with injecting bleach during COVID? That was probably an idea brought up in a meeting that they told him, hey, this is unfounded information. We don't know enough about this. Don't go out there and say it. Then he went out there and said it. And all of his experts were sitting there like, this motherfucker. That is exactly what he does. So I want you guys to watch this. It's ABC News or one of these news stations talking about how Donald Trump is suing his own Department of Justice. He's suing the Department of Justice for $230 million or something around that because he says he was unfairly targeted by the Biden administration and the Department of Justice before he came into office. Understand, he was indicted 4 times. He was convicted over 30 times, but he's saying it was all unfair. He was indicted by a jury, a grand jury, and he was convicted by a jury of his peers. That's what we do in this country. And all those things happened under the letter of the law. And he's saying because to him that was illegal, he's basically suing himself. He's suing himself. But I want you to listen to this because he gives you a little nugget of honesty by mistake, and it's very telling to all the lies that he's been telling. Because remember, this is the other thing that all the MAGAs were all happy about. Oh yeah, libs, he's not even going to take, first of all, he doesn't even take a salary. He never takes a salary. Yeah, but he sells everything from the White House, from the office of the presidency, like he's fucking running Facebook Marketplace out of the White House. Oh, he's going to pay for the entire new ballroom of all his own money. He's going to pay for it all on his own. Listen to this. And I'm going to cut in right where he gives you that nugget of honesty by mistake.
Sources tell ABC News that President Trump is now pushing the Justice Department to pay him $230 million in taxpayer money for past investigations involving Trump, including the Russia election interference investigation and the classified documents case involving what was found at Mar-a-Lago. The U.S. taxpayers would foot the bill here, and here's Rachel Scott.
Tonight, sources tell ABC News President Trump is pushing for the government to give him $230 million. a wholly unprecedented personal payout from the American taxpayers as compensation for the federal investigations he's faced. The president says the Justice Department owes him.
I guess they probably owe me a lot of money for that. Probably, yeah, that's true. That's very interesting.
President Trump filed claims against the Justice Department in 2023 and again last year. One about the investigation into his campaign and Russian meddling in the 2016 election. The other concerning the FBI search of his Mar-a-Lago home, where agents removed boxes of classified documents Trump had taken from the White House and kept in a storage area, a ballroom, and even a bathroom. The president calling himself a victim of malicious prosecution, claiming his privacy rights were violated. If the settlement goes through, he would personally collect nearly $250 million from American taxpayers.
If I get money from our country, I'll do something nice with it, like give it to charity or give it to the White House where we restore the White House, and we're doing a great job.
Did you hear that? If I get any money from the government, from us, the taxpayers, he's suing us right now. If I get any of that, I'm going to do something nice with it, like give it to charity or give it to the White House as we're doing renovations to it. He's suing us, the taxpayer, for pretty much the same amount of money that it is estimated to cost for him to build the ballroom. And if he gets that money, he's just going to transfer it to the ballroom because, again, he's not paying for it with his own money. He's paying for it with our money, with tax-paying dollars. He is suing a Department of Justice, as they said, who is run by people that he appointed who used to be his personal lawyers. Of course he's gonna get the money. He gets to decide. He gets to sign off on it. If you think for a second that Pam Bondi or anyone else in the Department of Justice is going to deny Donald Trump that money, you also believed that he was going to release the Epstein files at some point. Like, you fell for that shit hook, line, and sinker. He's not going to do that at all. It's all a scam. And after you watch this second half of the video, I'm going to tell you the second part of the scam. Because one part of the scam is pretending he's paying for it and then suing us for the money to pay for it. And then there's another part of the scam as well.
The Justice Department officials who would likely have to sign off on the settlement were once President Trump's own personal lawyers. Attorney General Pam Bondi and her deputy Todd Blanche. They recently stood with the president in the Oval Office as he acknowledged the extraordinary situation.
They raided my house in Florida. It was an illegal raid. I have a lawsuit that was doing very well, and when I became president, I said, I'm sort of suing myself. I don't know, how do you settle the lawsuit? I'll say, give me X dollars, right? And I don't know what to do with the lawsuit. It's a great lawsuit, and now I won. It sort of looks bad. I'm suing myself, right?
And again, David, this is an unprecedented situation that would likely require the DOJ officials who once served as the president's own personal attorneys to sign off on that $230 million payment to the president. Tonight, the Justice Department tells us they will follow the advice and guidance of career ethics officials. David.
Rachel Scott live at the White House. Rachel, thanks.
So yes, he is suing us to pay for the ballroom. Again, I don't care about the White House or the East Wing or what they do to that place. I've been there once or twice in my life, and I've stood outside those wrought iron fences or whatever, and I've stared at it for a second. It does not belong to us. We don't really get invited to it. They don't throw balls for regular people or anything like that. It's all for the rich and famous to get there and curry favor from the people who are in power. That's what it's for. So I don't give a damn about it. But I do care about the scam that's being pulled on us. So one, he's paying for it with all his money. He's not. He's taking that money from us. But you better damn sure know that Donald Trump doesn't care about a ballroom. This dude is probably going to be gone in 3 years. Who knows? The dude's in his mid-80s or something. He's only going to be around so long. He doesn't care about that. Donald Trump is using this ballroom to scratch someone's back who probably scratched his, or to scratch someone's back who he will ask to scratch his later. You better be damn sure. I guarantee you that the contractor and the company who gets the bid to do this ballroom will definitely be someone who already has close ties to Donald Trump. There'll already have been someone who has already built buildings for him or done favors for him, or someone who he will ask for favors of sooner or later. Nothing he does is for you. Not a damn thing. Like, you can't name anything he's ever done to help the common man. He doesn't care about a fucking ballroom. He cares about giving someone something so that he gets something in return, or giving someone something as a payback for something that he's already gotten. He doesn't give a shit about you. It is funny as hell to me that MAGAs are running around acting like they're getting a new ballroom. You're not. You will never go there. And if you do, you will get to stare at it from afar. They're not hosting dinners for you guys in Alabama who are sitting in trailer parks right now. They're not hosting dinners for poor people on welfare who live in North or South Dakota or whatever. That's not how this works. They do things for themselves. What the fuck are you happy about? Seriously, ask yourself, why am I happy that Donald Trump is building a ballroom at on the East Wing or whatever of the White House? Why do I care that typically when they host dinners or balls or whatever, they have to put out tents? Why does that matter to me as a rural person living paycheck to paycheck, wondering how I'm going to get gas, food, and health care? Ask yourself, why does that excite you? Because it fucking shouldn't. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.